Hello everyone, I am Scutlist, and my, we had quite the announcement recently. I was uncertain if they would even make it, but we are indeed getting the Empire's installment for the 9th entry in Dynasty Warriors. And a mobile gacha, but you can forget about that. As a quick disclaimer to get out of the way, I can only read and understand English. With most of the information available to us at this time, I am working off of the translations provided by a Twitter user by the name of Blackkite. All credit for translations to him. The Empire's games, where you build your own army and seek to conquer the land your way. They can, at times, be the most engrossing Warriors games out there. For a long time, I felt that an Empire's might be just the thing to get me to appreciate DW9's flawed design choices. DW9 itself is only somewhat enjoyable on your first playthrough of each faction's overall story. After that, it just becomes a grating experience of doing the same battles over and over again with no real alteration. At best, you just get your chosen character periodically giving a small monologue as the only unique bits. I've even wondered if DW9's open world, as barren as it was, could be a good fit for an Empire's game. It was really the only reason I could somewhat defend DW9's open world. But that point goes out the window, as one of the first things we learned was that DW9 Empires will not have an open world. Which is actually kind of a jerk move when you consider how the trailer has all these majestic mountains rising in the distance, and South Cell overlooking a city, only for them to reveal there would be no open world. The lack of open world is a point I'm rather mixed about. As said, I felt the open world could have actually been well executed for an Empire's game. But at the same time, DW9's open world was just bare fields and copy-pasted towns and forts for the most part. And the open world also meant that for the most part, the battles in Dynasty Warriors 9 felt less like proper large-scale battles and more like a series of unrelated skirmishes. Hopefully issues like this will be gone with a return to enclosed maps. Though that begs the question as to what the enclosed maps of Dynasty Warriors 9 Empires will be. Will they use locations from DW9, as the game did indeed have uniquely designed castles and cities for some of the most important areas, like Guandu or Jianye. New Hefei Castle stands out to me in particular. When I first fought in this area in the Wave story, I almost felt like I was in a map from an older Dynasty Warriors title. It was one of the few times I was, dare I say it, actually having fun with DW9's system. Even so, if the maps are just limited to the uniquely designed locations at DW9, that would create a very poor selection of maps to battle in. I imagine there will be further locals, even if some of them may end up being some of the copy-pasted locations at DW9. Create to Warriors will also be returning, and the creation process has been greatly expanded. It is, according to translations, an expanded version of Neo 2's character creation feature. I did not play Neo 2 myself, but I hear constant praise heaped onto the character creator, so it can give me great expectations for what we might be able to do here. With all the news we currently know, there is one question nagging at me. Will there be a new playable character in the game? After all, Dynasty Warriors 7 Empires gave us Shu Shu. Then Dynasty Warriors 8 Empires gave us Shun U. Might we get another strategist newcomer in the latest Empire title? If Shu Shu is from Shu, and Shun U is from Wei, could we see a Wu strategist joining the roster of Dynasty Warriors? Maybe Juga Jin, or his son Juga Ke? There's no way for me to know right now, but it's a possibility I'm hoping for. But it's also entirely possible that we won't get a new character, keep that in mind as well. One new character to round out the roster at 95 characters would be a nice way to end the roster additions in the 9 era of this franchise. But we may just keep with the 94 characters from the base 9. I pray the Dynasty Warriors 9 Empires proves to be a very meaty experience. Even with the negative qualities it is no doubt inheriting from the base Dynasty Warriors 9 game. Dynasty Warriors 8 Empires was an annoyingly bare-bones experience with very little imagination to it, and rarely challenging due to how passive the AI tended to be about invasions. What 8 Empires had going for it was mostly how it did away with a number of 7 Empires' messy gameplay decisions. but in many ways it was one step forward, two steps back. Conversely, Samurai Warriors 4 Empires was filled with content to create life in the world. Events that were silly, friendly ones like sumo matches or characters discussing their pets with each other, alongside more serious moments of characters discussing how to deal with enemies rapidly increasing their territory. It all lended a certain character to your clan, and I only hope the Dynasty Warriors 9 Empires can also have scenes like this. I would also passionately hope that they'll declone more characters in 9 Empires. Give Sunsa his tonfas back. Give Shun-U his formation wand back. Yet I imagine that's a hope that will go unanswered. Or, perhaps even worse, they'll sell more old weapons as DLC. And that'll be it, for now at least. Dynasty Warriors 9 Empires was just announced, and it feels like there's a lot to talk about, yet simultaneously, so little we can discuss about it. I'll be on the watch for any major news that comes to light. It's still based on DW9 systems, but Koei has shown that they aren't stupid and understand that DW9 wasn't well received, as their somewhat damaged control products like Orochi 4 or Dynasty Warriors 8 Extreme Legends Definitive Edition show us. I imagine there will be various fixes to the things that frustrated us, but enough of 9's system will be retained that any excitement or hype needs to be a bit restrained. We'll just see how news of Dynasty Warriors 9 Empires develops. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I'll see you next time.
无所谓，不露青丝。